Folks, what's happening? The puck is about to drop in Carolina, but we're going to take you through the first period tonight. Welcome to Season 9, Episode 19 of the Chicago Blackhawks Rinkcast. The trio is back for another week of fun. We're here with Jimmy O'Malley. What's up, Jimmy? How's it going, my friend?
It's going. Very exciting time. I will be at the Blackhawks game tomorrow night.
Woo!
Little birthday
Awesome.
present to myself. It'll be a lot of fun.
Excellent. Well, I hope they win as a birthday present to you. And
And hopefully Bedard plays.
Yes.
Let's hope.
Yeah, that was a tough break, Sean.
Yeah.
Sean is still bitter, folks. Sean, are you over Bedard getting the flu after going to the game the other night? Clearly not.
I like Bedard. I respect him. I hate the flu. Let's just say that. I'm not a fan of the flu.
That is totally fair. The flu is no fun for anybody.
No.
Anyway, folks, good to see you tonight. Yeah, we know that there's a game going on, well aware of it, but we wanted to make sure that we touch base on a few things this week. And so if you're not listening to this during the game, that's all right. There will be a recording available. Now, our show, as we've told you before, is brought to you by 500level.com. 500 Level is the best t-shirt company on the planet, ladies and gentlemen. You can add code The Rink in all caps. And if you add a code The Rink in all caps when you're buying a t-shirt from 500level.com, you get 30% off. You can get an awesome one like this. If you see the Iceman with the cheese grater, Bears, great future, tough loss, but great future, and many other shirts that Jimmy has or Sean has. I think Jimmy's got the Frankie Nazer one, which is awesome, which is very, very cool. So
I have the Bedard.
he has the Bedard. So with all of this in mind, let's talk Hawks. Let's talk something that came up the other day. We're going to get into prospects. We're going to get into some of the prospects that are in Rockford that Jimmy talked about in his article. But we want to talk about recently, Frank Severelli made a comment about the fact that Jason Dickinson, the Blackhawks are thinking about moving Jason Dickinson, which makes sense. But he also talked about that Jason Dickinson could be moved for a second-round pick and a prospect, which a lot of people from the rink went, whoa, okay, awesome. What do you think, Jimmy? Why would anybody do that, I guess?
I think it's just a reflection of the market. I think you have so many teams, especially if you look at that Eastern Conference, that need to buy. It's like it feels like every team except for maybe one or two in the East could make the playoffs if they, win 3 or 4 in a row. And I think if you look, especially in the West, it's very top heavy with obviously Minnesota, Dallas, and Colorado, and Vegas. That teams are going to want to stockpile if they feel like they can get out of the mushy middle and get into competing. So I think if you're the Blackhawks or any team in the bottom barrel, also like Vancouver and Calgary, two teams that recently have made pretty decent trades for guys that they were looking to move, I think it's a realization that this is very much a seller's market. And Jason Dickinson, yeah, we've talked about like what we saw 2-3 seasons ago is not coming back, but teams are going to still value him as a fourth line center, maybe third line center, if there are injuries or if you need to move them up. But yeah, I think it's just a reminder that, the market changes based on who's, if it's a buyer or seller's market. And if Dickinson really would garner a second round pick and a prospect, it's just a massive indication that this is a seller's market.
Yeah, that's awesome. What kind of teams out there do you think would be interested in him, Jimmy? I mean, off the top of your head, I know it's probably hard to know right now. And at the same time, I mean, injuries are racking up. I mean, to your point, the Eastern Conference right now is an absolute logjam.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only a few points separating, the bottom teams from the top, I think, or those that would be wild card teams from first place teams. So any teams that come to mind, and Sean, jump in here at any time too.
One that sticks out in my mind, both of them actually are in the Western Conference. It's actually Colorado and Vegas. Colorado, I look at their fourth line center. It's been like Ivan for like half the year. And he's been up and down in the AHL and NHL for most of his career. As good as Colorado has been this year, I really do think they want to strengthen that bottom six center depth, especially with a veteran Dickinson makes sense. And also Vegas. I think Vegas is looking to get some guys in the bottom six, especially in the center position. But you can also look out east. Florida's always going to buy. Tampa, it looks really strong, but they do need a little bit of center depth in their bottom six as well. Other than that, you could really just throw a dart at any team in the Eastern Conference, and you'd be like, yeah, this matches.
Is Jason? I mean, other than Ivan in Colorado, perhaps, or Duran somewhere else, is Jason Dickinson even that much more of an upgrade? Though, I mean, look, I think Jason Dickinson's a great guy. I think he's obviously a locker room guy. He's hurt all the time. He's not playing tonight. He's injured all the time. And Sean, were you surprised? Do you think this is a desperate move? Never count out Carolina. Good point, Bard.
A desperate move? I don't think so. I kind of agree with Jimmy in that it definitely is a buyer's or a seller's market in that there's not really going to be that much talent out there. I would also throw out Edmonton. I think Edmonton needs bottom six depth scoring. They don't have any.
Frederic's not cutting it.
No, they kind of cleared the deck at the bottom of their roster, and they don't really have anybody who scores. Like you look at their bottom six, they're trash. I think like Jimmy said, Vegas will probably buy. I wouldn't count out Buffalo buying.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
because just like we saw in San Jose, where Mike Greer rewarded the Sharks by getting Sherwood from Vancouver. Buffalo's really turned it on, and now they're in a playoff spot. So why wouldn't the new president and GM reward them, even if it is a guy like Jason Dickinson? At least it's somebody
soft market.
The GM believes in them and shows them they believe in them. So I think that's what's gonna up his price because Robertson's probably not getting moved. Tage Thompson's probably not getting moved. Alex Tuck, if he gets moved, it's probably like you're bringing a huge haul back that's going to help you. It's not going to be like I could see like a Tuck for Robertson deal and they both re-sign in other places. Like that's what I could see. But it's going to be interesting. And if the Hawks can get a second round pick and a prospect for Jason Dickinson, sign me up.
Yeah, about that. That's unbelievable what Frank was suggesting. Saravalli. I said Saravalli. It's Saravalli? Saravalli.
The sure was on the other foot. It's okay.
But I mean, Jimmy, is that even – I mean, is that realistic? Second round pick and a prospect? I mean, moving him is one thing. Maybe someone will take, but second round – and what do the Hawks want out of that trade? I mean, that would be their fourth second rounder if they get it for this year. I mean, maybe it's a second rounder in a year to come or something, but I don't know, man. That's wild.
It is wild. It's kind of hard to comprehend. Saravalli has been a big friend of CHSN, so who knows if this is him like tooting the horn and like greasing the wheel of the Blackhawks' interest in trying to trade Dickinson and trying to maybe create value that isn't actually real.
Create a buzz, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. We want to shop this guy. Someone please bite on this.
Yeah, Saravalli, well, could you talk about his trade value and really prop him up? I mean, I'm not going to say there's insider trading or any of that kind of or conspiracy, but it may just be he's tooting the Blackhawks horn when it comes to trying to get him to trade him. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Dickinson, he's an interesting case because he's a definition of a team. I mean, a player a team would look at and go, "Oh wow, intangibles, veteran, wins a lot of faceoffs, pretty good two-way play." He screams the kind of player that teams desperately want to trade for or talk themselves into wanting to trade for at the deadline to push themselves over the top. Do I think a second round pick in the prospect will be the final price? Probably not. I mean, bringing it back to Sherwood, as Sean mentioned, Vancouver said they would accept. The bargaining starts at a first round pick, and they got 2 seconds and a AHL player.
Well, they might be dangling Elias Peterson out there,
and Connor Garland as well.
Connor Garland. I mean, those guys. I mean, it all. If someone loses out on those races, does all of a sudden the value of Jason Dickinson increase?
Yeah.
And it might, and other players too. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, or Ilya Mikheyev. Like, if Dickinson's getting a second in a prospect, I love Mikheyev a lot. I do genuinely want to re-sign him, but like, if the price for Dickinson's a second in a prospect, then the price of Mikheyev might be a first.
Yeah. Right. I mean, if you get an offer you can't refuse, you walk away from Mikheyev at this point.
Yeah. And Jeff Merrick was saying on the sheet the other day that the San Jose Vancouver trade, like, because you give up 2 second-round picks, they're probably going to re-sign him.
Yeah.
Because you have to. Like, if you give up that much value, like if let's say the Hawks get like an offer they can't refuse for Mikheyev, the opposing team is probably going to re-sign Mikheyev because you wouldn't want to pay that much just to lose the guy then in free agency.
Yeah. Interesting. No, this is a really good question here from Andrew Bard. Bardo, we miss you, guy. Our colleague, we do miss the Bard, Andrew Bard, but has a trade deadline become more important than free agency? I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see. But at the same time, I mean, if you're going to bolster your club, I mean, it seems like more trades are not rentals these days. I mean, when you're trading, I mean, if you look at like a Rantanen in a sense to Dallas, I mean, that's a trade and sign. You look at, I'm trying to think of some others. I'm sure they're out there, but yeah, I mean, if you're trading right now, are you looking for a rental player? Are you looking for more? And free agency now, it's not going to be around for a couple of years.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up, like the recent Rasmus Anderson deal to Vegas.
Yep.
Boston had a better deal on the table for Anderson, but they pulled out because they couldn't get an extension. Guaranteed. Vegas said, we don't need the guaranteed extension. We'll still make this trade. So I go off of Bard. It's like, I think teams are going to look at the trade deadline as all right, here's a chance to get 3 extra months of negotiating for a guy that we don't want to get the free agency or, or stuff like that. And
well, in that case, then the market cools for Jason Dickinson.
It probably does, because I don't think a team is going to trade for Dickinson and be like, let's give him a 3 year.
No. I don't deal. Jason Dickinson is going to hit the free agent market and is going to probably have a tough time finding what he wants out of it.
He'll be a pure rental, like.
Yeah.
And I think what kind of helped the Calgary Vegas deal was that, like, Kelly McCrimmon, they don't care about futures. Like, their job every year is to win the Stanley Cup.
They're in the win now.
They're going to keep trading futures and mortgage their future to get better. And then when they go over the cap, they clean it up in the offseason and they get rid of whatever they need to do. But they're going to keep trying to acquire, like, guys, rental or not, to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
So, and maybe they need not Jason Dickinson. Maybe they come calling for Connor Murphy, or maybe they come calling for somebody else, because Vegas is definitely not going to be done adding.
No,
they actually cleared up cap space in the Rasmus Anderson deal.
Yeah. Crazy town. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, is there any, in any way, shape, or form, do you imagine any scenario where the Blackhawks, even if they're not playoff bound, try to strengthen their roster right now by trading for someone who could be around for a while by the deadline, or is that more of an off-season deal? I'd want to say off-season, but are we going to start seeing stuff like that at the deadline?
I think so. I
mean,
possible.
So we've talked about it in private chats about the Hawks need to increase their scoring of goals, right? And obviously the only really major way you were able to do it in the past is you had a free agent goal scorer. And with free agency essentially being dead for the next couple of years because of salary cap, I think the Hawks do have to explore the trade market and try to find a goal scorer, whether it's an overpriced goal scorer on a team that's trending downward, or maybe like pluck up and trade for an asset that like a team doesn't value as much as the Hawks, like your Jason Robertson's from Dallas. The only issue with that would be Dallas would obviously want something cost controlled and of scoring potential to replace Robertson's.
Right. Yeah, because they're definitely
the Hawks do not have. So you got to find a team that will take futures for a goal scorer.
Yeah. I mean, you just kind of wonder if like there are players out there that might have longer terms in their contracts. And to your point, Shawnee, that teams might not want, teams have other plans for, but they might want to consider shipping them out. I mean, if you look at teams like Columbus right now, what are they going to do with Mathieu Olivier? I mean, he is on their books through 2029, 2030. I mean, it's only a $3 million cap hit. Is Miles Wood someone that they're looking to get out of town too? So I don't know.
I had a guy I kind of liked, and I mentioned him in a possible trade. I think Carolina wants to get rid of Kotkaniemi, and he's had a terrible year. He has 4 years left on his deal. I think that could be a possible thing, and I think that's where we're going to see the importance of the NHL trade deadline is getting a head start on reclamation projects, where teams are going to go, oh, instead of trying to trade for this reclamation project at the draft or wait for in the offseason, let's just get it now. Let's get it now, get those extra couple months. So I kind of floated the ideas like, what if it's Dickinson for Kotkaniemi? It's a more stable veteran center to Carolina on a 1-year deal for a contract they are probably looking to get rid of, and then you could sweeten it with a second and third round pick back to Chicago.
Right.
And it's like, all right, well,
and I still wonder too about, and I know we talked about this on last pod. There's a couple teams where you wonder when they're going to decide to blow it up, or if they're going to decide to blow it up. I mean, the Senators are playing better hockey since the last time that we talked, I believe. I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, the whole
their window with that group is starting to get,
strange.
They're starting to get strange. That's a good way to put it. It's strange.
I think honestly, it's strange. And another one, Winnipeg.
Winnipeg. Oh yeah, Winnipeg.
Winnipeg's got to blow it up. They're too old.
Blow it up, and then I know I just referenced Columbus, but I mean, Columbus fired Dean Evison, and so that's one of those. I mean, what is Columbus just going to keep their guys that they just said? I mean, they have Ivan Provorov on the books. Is a great defenseman for a few more years. I mean, that's a guy that the Hawks, that'd be awesome. And if they ever wanted to blow it up, the Hawks have the prospects and the picks to do it.
Yeah. Another team that I think could blow it up, the Kings. They've just
they're old.
I think that's a team that if they don't make it past the first round this year, I think the Kings are going to have a lot of introspection.
Yeah.
Does this even cut it? Not that they trade Quentin Byfield, but like Kopitar's done, Drew Doughty's about to be done. Like,
right?
What do you do?
They already moved on. They already moved on from Philip Deneau. Like,
that's a
team. Kempe now locked in for how many years? Like, yeah, they might be in an interesting position there.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Rangers might blow it up. The Rangers
should blow it up.
I don't want Artemi Panarin back. I'm sorry. I
don't want Artemi Panarin. And
he's going to Colorado at the deadline. I think that makes
I would think Vegas. Vegas wants another top 6 winger. He scores. He's bred for the limelight. Clearly, he didn't like it in Columbus. That's why he left. And Chicago and New York, he played really well in.
Yeah.
And Vegas doesn't care if you're kind of a scumbag off the ice.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah. All waiting for that.
Yeah.
At any rate, 9 minutes in, it's 0-0 still in the game. Just a little bit of an update there. Just want to throw that out there. Let's talk a little bit about prospects with the time that we have here. We're going to have a pretty hard stop at 7:45. Jimmy, your article and your analysis on some of the prospects has been great. We want to talk about some of the Rockford guys and then some of the guys that might be coming along down the line. But the first one I want to start with, in light of Arvid Soderblom's recent poor performance, I guess you could say.
And changing his grade to an F.
Yes, where we originally, Sean changed my mind and then to not do an F last week, but he has an F. Arvid Soderblom, he's just struggled. And I don't, he might be at a real crossroads right now with the Blackhawks goaltending prospect pool of where he fits in the next couple of years. Sean, you had a hot take in the beginning of the year that you said we were going to see Drew Commesso for what? 10 games?
10 games.
10 games.
10 games. We're 8 more to go.
We've got more to go. Is this more realistic now? Jimmy, you've been coveting Rockford more than anybody. How realistic is it that Drew Commesso could be their backup next year? And do you think he's ready?
I don't just think it's a possibility. I think it's an expectation.
Yeah.
I really think the
Blackhawks. Yeah.
I think Soderblom is going to go on waivers in the offseason. If he goes through, he's just going to be sent down to Rockford to play out the rest of his contract. Drew Commesso is just he has absolutely carried what has been, and I mean, I cover them, so I hate saying this, but it's been a pretty mediocre year for the Rockford IceHawks compared to previous years.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
in
all the good
trouble.
ones are with the
All
big.
their talents in the NHL.
All their talent is
Oh,
gone,
they're
and all
hot.
like their veteran
They're all
talent
booked
from
up,
last
yeah.
year are just not here anymore. Like losing guys like Gutman, Mayhew, and Sanford is really just taking away the offensive firepower of the
Gutted the
Fords.
team, if you will.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Aha.
but Comesso has really just he has put this team on his shoulders and made them at least competitive enough to like not feel like they're going to miss the playoffs. And his stats reflect it. And his 2 games with Blackhawks this year, I think, proved a lot.
Yeah,
I was actually at the IceHawks game the night of Comesso's first Blackhawks start when he played Washington. And I was talking to Nick, who's like the assistant communications director in Rockford after the game. And I was like, hey, how hectic has it been here? He's like, this has been one of the craziest days I've had since I started working here. Like he told me like, oh yeah, Comesso and Korchinski, who we'll get to later, they were at morning skate here. And then about lunchtime, they're like, hey, get to Chicago. Like you're playing tonight. So they didn't have a practice. They literally just got told, hey, get to Chicago. You're playing tonight. So no wonder Korchinski.
You're coming up.
Yeah, like no wonder Korchinski and Comesso struggled. But I mean, that game against Nashville, first career NHL win, he gets a shutout. I mean, that to me, I was like, oh, this kid settled down immediately. He got to Chicago after skating in the morning in Rockford, had a terrible game, and it's like, hey, don't dwell on it because we're flying to Nashville and you're playing again tomorrow because you're our only option. And what do you do? They just shut him out.
There you go.
I think
I also think Jeff Osborne, the gatekeeper, wrote an article today, the Chicago's Blackhawks goaltending assessment, and basically reiterated what Jimmy said, or actually said before what Jimmy said, that Arvid Soderblom will probably be waived and sent down through waivers and play out the rest of his career in Rockford. And then Drew Comesso will come up and probably be the backup. Within the hopes, Gates' great hope, Adam Guyan eventually will come and ascend to either play in a tandem with Spencer Knight or ultimately take the goaltending role over. So
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Obviously, Guyan still has a lot of work to do, but I mean,
he does, and he's still got time.
Season, yeah, and he has time. And
he's only a sophomore at the University of Minnesota Duluth. His first year was pretty poor, I think. Also, injury and being at Minnesota Duluth when they were kind of on a downslide season. They weren't as good as they are this year.
Right.
This year, I think they've been playing much better, and he's been playing well. As Gate mentioned in his article, he's been playing well enough that he got chosen for his country's Olympic team in Italy. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Drew Comesso, I mean, he's certainly at this point, playoffs included, he's had over 100 games in Rockford. And I mean, so he is certainly put his work in, done his time, and cut his teeth. Which
and the Hawks preached him to be patient. He's a restricted free agent after this year. So like if he's going to get his chance, or if you're going to gauge what his next contract is going to be, why not give him some run at the NHL level before you make him the backup next year?
Yeah, I mean, Corey Crawford, for example, I mean, he had 200 AHL games.
Yep.
Before he was the man in Chicago.
Really
and they hedged on that too. They brought in Marty Turco his first year.
Brought in Marty Turco. Antti Niemi beat him out.
His first year. Yep.
First year with backup, or wasn't the backup at the time, Cristobal Huet. Yeah, that was a fun one. Let's talk about another prospect who's been on my mind a lot, and Sam Rinzel. I think I don't know if anyone had as high of hope for Sam Rinzel as I did. I mean, so much so that I bought his jersey to start the year, and he had a couple games out of the gate where he was great, and now he's 16 games I think deep in Rockford, which is where he needs to be right now. And the Blackhawks are lucky in the sense that they have not only the time to have him down there, but they have not been very dinged up on the blue line. They've been dinged up on forwards, but I mean, like Crevier's healthy. Connor Murphy's been healthy all year.
He's played in every game.
He's played in every single game. And so, I mean, the right side, Levshinov's been great. So, I mean, they've had regularity with the right side. And so they have the luxury of sending Sam Rinzel down. this is not someone you just throw in the towel on. I know, Jimmy, you kind of gave him a C grade, which I think was totally fair, considering what the expectations are of him. How's he doing in Rockford? Is this something where we will see him again in the spring?
Oh yeah, I think you're probably going to see a little bit more time at the end of the year in the NHL, especially if Rockford doesn't make the playoffs. I think he's kind of been a little up and down in Rockford, kind of similar to how he was in Chicago, but the waves are smaller. Like, he doesn't have terrible performances. Like, when he makes mistakes, they're not horrible. He seems just more confident. He recently had his first goal in the AHL. He's doing, he's settling in, and you can tell, as I've watched him in Rockford, you can tell he's settled down. He's relaxed. I think he had that situation in Chicago where it was like, holy crap. I've suddenly went from, dark horse to like, holy crap, now all these expectations are on me. I think it got to him a little bit. I think he played like he was thinking too much. And in Rockford, I've gotten to see him settle down. He still makes mistakes. He's still making, young player choices. But I would definitely say to Blackhawk fans that have maybe checked out on Rinzel since he left, there's nothing to worry about. There's no white towel. There's no quitting on this kid. Like,
right.
He's just, I think Rinzel just shows how.
We have a goal. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Breaking news: Ilya Mikheyev.
Ilya Mikheyev, shorthanded.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That now makes his trade value 2 first-round picks.
There you go. But you need those guys. You need killers with speed.
Come
anyway,
on,
1-0 Hawks.
What's 2 first-round picks in a prospect? Come on, it's Ilya Mikheyev. But anyway, to bring up Rinzel, I think Rinzel, it just kind of shows how really impressive Artem Levshunov is.
There we go. Of course.
Sorry, I had to bring him in. Rinzel got to the pros and started off strong and struggled and is really trying to refine himself. Artem Levshunov basically got to the pros last year, struggled, found his spot in the AHL, started the NHL this year, struggled, but found his spot and settled in.
Yeah.
I think it just goes to show, I think the expectations for Rinzel were super high. They gave him a long runway in Chicago. It just didn't work out. But right now he has a long runway in Rockford, and it's starting to form. You're starting to see what everyone saw in Minnesota.
And again,
the end of last year.
And if anything if there are any injuries to that right side, he's right back up.
Oh yeah. If Murphy's traded, he's back up.
Yeah. If Murphy's,
what were you going to say, Sean? Yeah.
I was just going to say, he's a young guy. Development takes time. Defensemen typically take longer.
Yeah. On that note, another guy, Shawnee, Ethan Del Mastro. I don't know. Where does he fit in?
He might be on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Reminds
me a lot of Jordan Hendry, that kind of.
Yeah, Jordan Hendry. We just saw a guy when they played Winnipeg. Isaac Phillips kind of got forced out because guys passed him.
Right.
And Nolan Allen's been moved because guys have passed him. And Del Mastro had this was his opportunity this season to take the bull by the horns and seize that spot. And
I think the Blackhawks wanted him to make it out of camp. They gave him so many opportunities in the preseason. And he never seized it. He never stood out.
And remember when he was called back up earlier this year? We forgot he was up because he didn't play.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if
he's big, he's tough, he can be physical, but there's no element of his game where you're saying this is a guy that can do X at this level.
Right.
It's just hard to find that. I don't even, Jimmy, what kind of grade did you give him? I don't even remember, but
I gave him the same grade I gave Sam Rinzel, a C-, but for different reasons.
Sure.
I think he is a quad A player. He is in the AHL top 4. He's going to be on your first or second pairing. He's not going to score a lot. At the time I made this article, he had 11 points in 28 AHL games. Mm-hmm. He played 2 games with the Blackhawks this year. He had no points. I just said the problem with him, kind of like with Nolan Allen, who was just recently traded, and Sean kind of pointed out, if he doesn't add something to what he currently is, he may just be an AHL defenseman, which is fine. You're still pro. I think he can be called up every once in a while to play on a third pairing and play 12 minutes a night if you need him to. Mm-hmm. But I don't see additional skill sets right now. I think he's physical. I think he can kill penalties in the AHL, but it's just coming from a Blackhawks perspective, I don't think it's enough.
Yeah. No,
And
I
they're
agree.
starting to thin the defensive herd already with Allen and Allen being dealt now. So maybe Del Mastro's next.
Yeah,
being
I think
dealt.
it's the logical choice if they were to move another defenseman in the system.
Yeah, and that brings us to Kevin Korchinski. He's the one that he's the wild card, I guess you could say. He's the one that, I mean, it's his left side spot to lose, I guess. I mean, they need the kind of player that he can be on that left side, the puck driving, offensive, left-handed shot defenseman. They don't have. It's not Wyatt Kaiser. Sorry. Wyatt Kaiser's awesome, but he's not that role. Vlasic, probably not him either. Grzelcyk, probably gone after this year. Sean, is it going to be Kevin Korchinski? Are they going to wait to give him another shot next year, or are they going to address this in the offseason? Because sooner or later, this needs to be addressed.
I think they're going to do it twofold.
Okay.
So I think the first thing they're going to do is they're going to address it in the draft. I think
it's 1-1. Anyway.
I think they're going to address it in the draft. They're going to draft a left-handed puck-moving defenseman because free agents aren't going to be available, so they're going to have to do it that way. And then I think they're going to give Korchinski the offseason, and then they're going to hope he wins the job out of camp because I think that's the way they're going. I don't see them taking big swings in free agency because there's not going to be many guys left. I don't think a trade for this position would. I think you'd have to give up too much to get what you're looking for in this regard. So I think it's Korchinski's job, and they're going to draft his replacement. And if Korchinski's not ready after the season, I think they'll keep him down in Rockford. He'll play with his replacement, the potential draft pick that they draft this year, and then they'll see where the chips lay after this. But I think it's going to be the two-pronged attack in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but I mean, with their draft position, if there's a left-handed defenseman available, I mean, unless you're picking someone, near the top 10, if not top 5, that kid's not going to be ready for a while. I mean, if he's a defenseman, I mean,
what was Korchinski picked? He was what, 9?
He picked 7th.
7th, and this is year 3,
right? But I'm saying what I'm saying is that the team might be in need of this player sooner rather than later. I mean, I will go into next year predicting that the Blackhawks will be a playoff team. I'm going to say that right now.
They should be.
I'm not going to back down, but I think that they need to, they still need those pieces.
I mean, San Jose's in position of being a playoff team, and Macklin Celebrini's having a Herculean effort just to get him there. The Hawks have, I think, more pieces around Connor Bedard than Macklin Celebrini has in San Jose. They for sure should be a playoff team next year.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Jimmy? The Korchinski conundrum, if you will.
I think the fact that he is not regularly in the NHL after his full season in 2023-2024 has made it very difficult to be objective with him, because everyone's going to say, oh, he's had a full year of the NHL. He's already seen this. Why is he not back?
Yeah.
And I think it makes it really hard to put into words if he's good or not. But I've seen him a lot this year. Obviously, we saw a little bit of him this year. He had an awful game against Washington, which, as I mentioned before, extreme caveat. But when he played Nashville, he looked pretty solid. I thought he looked very much more comfortable. He just recently got announced as one of Rockford's representatives in the All-Star game. Second in a row. The kid is about to pass his point total from last year. He's at 20 points in 36 games. He had 27 points all of last year. He's adding a physical touch to his game. He's already matched his penalty minutes this year as he did last year. I think we're giving him not enough credence to the fact that he is a different defenseman than everyone else around him.
Mm-hmm.
I think this kid can be in the NHL next year. I think he should. I think he believes he should. I've seen a lot out of the last 2 years in his time in Rockford that I think is going to translate in the NHL once he has a longer runway. But you look at his time in the NHL the last 2 years, he's had 16 games last year, 2 games this year. you feel like the Blackhawks really want to be cautious with him because of what happened when he played all 82 3 years ago.
Yeah,
I think
right.
that may have warped how his development has gone. That may have warped our perception of it, fans and media. Maybe it's even warped his perception within the organization. But I strongly believe this kid is good at hockey. He's going to be an NHLer. I hope it's with the Blackhawks because I really do think. I think I gave a good comparison to him was like Kevin Shattenkirk. Ironically, another Kevin, a guy who was most, he was never a top pairing defenseman. At most, he was middle pairing for most of Kevin Shattenkirk's career was, hey, we're parking on the third pairing and you're going to be a power play quarterback and you're going to move that puck every time you're on the ice. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what you can do with Korchinski. Is that maybe underwhelming for a former 7th overall pick? Perhaps. But I think that's a great role for him, and I think it fits perfectly for what the Blackhawks want. So yeah, I mean, I like Korch a lot.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, we'll be hopeful. Yeah.
And hopefully they're patient because remember what happened when they weren't patient with Forsling and how that turned out.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think they've realized they weren't patient with Korchinski his first year. And I think they're kind of like backtracking their patience.
Yeah, I understood the thought process of him not developing bad habits in the WHL because he was so much better than everybody there. Yep. But he clearly wasn't ready for the pace of the NHL. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, he just wasn't able to go to Rockford at that time.
Yeah. And in Rockford, defensively, I think he's better than any defenseman on the ice most nights. I really do.
Nice. Well, we'll be hopeful. Let's do it. A couple other things. There's a couple other prospects we want to make note of. The Blackhawks might be signing a lot of guys this spring. We've already talked about Roman Kanserov, who's absolutely tearing it up in the KHL. Anton Frondel, the expectation is that he's going to sign in the spring. But there's a few more. There's Sasha Boivin, who's now serving a 2-game suspension at Boston University. For
3,
fighting.
I thought it was.
3, whatever. Fighting. Anyway, so he can chuck them. I don't know what his role in the NHL was, but it's very rare that you see 2 guys get together in a Hockey East game in the NCAA in the penalty box and say, okay, let's go out there and do this. And that's exactly what happened. So he might be called up. And there's a couple of guys, Jimmy, you and I were batting around earlier on the chat group with Sean too. And that Jack Pridham. Jack Pridham is doing very well in the OHL this year. Originally was committed to Boston University a year ago, and he stayed in Kitchener and said he's going to play one more year. He's now 20 years old, so he is Rockford eligible. So I don't think he's allowed to go back to Kitchener for another year. I think he's officially aged out, so he will be signing unless he decides to do a year in NCAA hockey, which he can. He'd be a 21-year-old freshman, which is almost the norm these days. Not only in the NHL, as we're seeing across Division I sports.
Indiana.
In hockey. Yeah, Indiana, average age 23. NCAA basketball, you could go pro and become a college student at 27 and then play.
Yeah.
At any rate, Jack Pridham, neat prospect. It'll be interesting. He will spend more time in Rockford, or he will start in Rockford. He might get a full year in Rockford would be my guess. But kind of he can score goals. He's a pretty decent skater. As we've seen in Jimmy's letter grade of Nick Lardis being an A, Nick Lardis is in the NHL to stay. I don't know if he'll go back to Rockford this year. But Jimmy, you had one more prospect on the tip of your tongue that you mentioned in our chat group. Name this person, please.
Oh, Merrick Van Acker.
Yeah.
Well, we
another
talked
first round pick. Yeah.
Another first-round pick. Now, Jack Pridham is second in the OHL in goals with 29. Merrick's first. He has 30.
Awesome.
This kid, I mean, I remember when he was drafted, he basically came to the draft in the sling, and he missed half of last year recovering from that injury, which he played through at the end of the 2023-24 season. But this year, he's already passed his goal, assist, and point total from last year. He had 42 points in 45 games last year. He has 51 points in 61 games this year.
Right.
Yes, it's the OHL. Yes, he's facing younger players. As he gets older, the competition remains super young. So
yeah, but we question that with Lardis.
We question it with Lardis.
I will offer another caveat to Van Acker. Jake O'Brien's on his team. Jet Luchenko's on his team. Yeah. Like he's playing like on an all-star team in the OHL. So I take his scoring totals with a little bit more hesitancy than everybody else, just because there's so much more talent around him this season than there were in years past.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, 20 in April. So again, another guy, unless there's an NCAA team saying come here for 2 years. I don't know. You may as well put him in Rockford. I mean, Rockford needs guys because they need to call up the other guys to the Hawks. So, I mean, I think you see him in Rockford, Jimmy?
Yeah. I think we are going to see a massive wave because he came to Van Acker came to Rockford at the end of last year. I think he didn't dress for a game, but he was with the roster in playoffs.
Yeah, so he'll be there.
Think him and
as
Pridham,
soon as his season's over. Yeah,
him and Pridham are going to go straight to Rockford. I think
he signed his ELC, so he can't go to college.
I think Boisvert will be in Rockford too. I mean, I think
Rockford's about to have a huge swing in offensive talent.
Well, if they can make the playoffs, if they make the playoffs, if they sign those guys, they can make a run here.
They really could.
Yeah.
I mean, this team desperately needs offensive forward talent. Yeah. Gavin Hayes has had a really solid year. I think Gavin Hayes has actually really impressed me, and he's developing really well since Lardis and Moore left. But that forward group needs a lot more help. Yeah. And I think an infusion of guys like Boisvert, Van Acker, and Pridham, I mean, Rockford might be hot money to watch next year if those guys show up. Yeah, and that doesn't even mention guys like who else am I missing? Guys like Nathan Bem. I like him a lot.
Yeah, the left wing.
Yeah, he's been good. Yeah, I think we're going to see at least.
Frondell and Cancer obviously with the big club.
I think there's no way they come over and not play in the NHL.
Yeah, no.
Especially Frondell. Frondell's not wasting his time in the AHL.
No,
and I think Cancerov too, because
have him right now.
Most KHL guys, if they come over, if they're top talent, they won't go to the AHL.
No, I mean he's 23, 24 years old, something like that. Yeah, I mean he's going to be in the NHL. No, and I mean I don't even think that they'll come. They'll play a few games this spring, but then they will not go to Rockford.
Right.
No, I think that they'll go to their respective. I mean they're pro hockey players right now. So cool. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, before we say goodnight for the night and take a little breather and head into the second period of the Blackhawks game?
Read Gates' goalie piece that came out today. It's very good. If you haven't read it right now, it's very good. Talks about the current goalies, the future of the goaltending position from a goalie's perspective. So that's a little bit different.
From the net perspective.
From the net perspective, if you will. Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
Good piece. Read that. And I guess the only other thing is Jonathan Taves' return. We didn't mention that, but
that was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
that was really
3 minutes and 30 seconds of a standing ovation.
Yeah,
and he could have got longer. He could have got longer.
Yeah,
some of the good ones. Check out the original or the YouTube the banner years. If you haven't watched that video yet, it is really good. Tells the story of the 7 guys who won all 3 cups, where they came from, how they got to the Blackhawks. Really cool stuff. So check that out too.
Great. All right, folks. Well, enjoy the second period. The Blackhawks are level through one period. They're tied 1-1 in Carolina. What a night that would be if they can get a win there. Frank Nazar back on the ice.
Frank the Tank back.
Frank the Tank is back with a nice little chin guard. But hopefully, man, it would be great if he could get back into form.
Yeah, needs him to get going.
Yeah, get him back into form. So
and the Olympic break is coming up, isn't it?
It's the first week of February, right?
Yeah, and you cannot trade guys right before the Olympics, so there will be a trade freeze.
Yeah. Trade freeze.
Yep. Get ready for the pre-trade deadline right before the Olympics. That happens every time. I have it
Friday night late, just like before the
freeze is Saturday morning. Or
I think I'm sure whatever the night before the freeze, and not the weather. The NHL freeze will be.
The trees are exploding.
Yeah, stay warm, stay safe out there, everybody. It is chilly.
Yeah, my wife decided to pick the perfect game to go to the Blackhawks. She's like, "Hey, do you want to go when it's -30?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." Woo!
All right, folks, have a great night. We'll see you next week. Go Hacks.